Aloha, and thank you for joining us. It's been a little while since we've done a Still Point conference call, so I want to welcome any of the new folks who have gotten our products, and also say aloha to the folks from our network who have been to gatherings and seminars and retreats and who have been in our conference calls before. So welcome to everyone. It's nice to be with you again. For starters, everyone take a nice breath in. Right at the top of the breath, for folks that are new, right at the top of the breath, actually take a breath in and relax, let go, totally allow the breath to come out. Now take another nice breath in and stop right at the top of the breath. And hold for a moment. Kind of feels like holding the breath. Don't hold the breath. Let the breath keep going like it does when you rest. Yet you stay. Keep your attention in the space between the breath. And just rest here. For folks that haven't been to our gatherings or retreats, this experience right here of Still Point is the essence of the approach, the work that we do, and the approach that we take in life. And also is the purpose of the technologies and the devices that we develop and manufacture here in Vermont. In other words, for me in my life, I use this state as a reference for how I orient my reality, my physics, my condition, particularly as we enter the new season here. So we're going to use this call as an opportunity to practice this yogic practice, this art of Still Point. And we're also going to use this as a chance to do some training on the laser. So if you have laser or any of our products that you're using, good moment to take it out, turn it on. We'll cover some protocols. Haven't been on a call like this for a little while, so it's kind of a good moment to cover a bunch of things. So take out your laser. If you have laser, turn it on. And the most important first step for training for anyone using our laser or pads or any of our technologies is turn it on and scroll. Try unwind first. Go to the first program. Go to unwind. And what you want to do when you put on a program is wait a moment. Put it over if you're on the pad or if you're at the Wi-Fi, or if you have the laser, the Lotus, put it on for a moment. I just put a laser on. And just hold it. I'm holding it off the body. I'm actually just off the body a little bit. And you want to notice right away what's the effect of that program. Is the program, and the way that you can tell that is drop in Still Point. Like I just changed. I started on unwind and then I shifted to quantum. It felt good, though as soon as I put quantum on, for me, it dropped me into Still Point. Like I could tell, I took a breath, I took a little sigh, and my condition just kind of dropped in here. And I'm kind of in a different place here than I normally am. So I am, usually quantum is a very good program for clearing. So for me, when I put it on, I was like, exactly what's required at this moment. So I develop technologies and I'm looking when I use them to find what is the program Which one? It's very much akin to if you ever watch TV, which some don't, people do, some don't. When you go through, you try this, you try this. When you find one that has the right effect of relaxing you, of making you feel good, you land on that one. Well, laser's the same way. You tried this one, you tried this. Notice which one puts you into that where your body starts to unwind. We're noticing when does our condition drop into still point. And for me, my whole approach to health and wellness, which we're going to get into a bit today, the yogic approach that I take to addressing my state of wellness. My view is any situation, whether it's an injury or an emotion or an organ or a cell or a condition or anything that's going on, from my perspective, benefits from unwinding it and dropping it into still point. And so you'll see the approach that I take for addressing anything in my life is to unravel it, unwind it, and drop it in to still point. It resets it. The still point to me is a reset. And in that process of first it unwinds a little bit, then it opens up into still point, and then once it opens up to higher dimensional, to scalar energy, to the energy of the universe, whether you call it prana or chi or universal energy, when it opens to that energy then has its magic, its alchemy, which, and from my perspective, tunes things to its appropriate condition or state. So it's not really, the way I approach things, it's not the laser, it's not when I take supplements, when I do different things, it's the experience of unwinding things and activating them into their unified field, the state of their connection. This is kind of an important thing. So as we're progressing here, we're going to cover a bunch of things today. We're going to touch on some laser protocols, some still point protocol practice work. We'll touch on a little bit on what's going on the planet right now and how to adjust to the kind of changing dynamics. We usually cover that as our view is we're entering a new season here on planet Earth, and we make products and we do seminars to kind of assist in that process, that transition, that sojourn into the new season. Find what program works for you as we're progressing. If we're doing a certain laser over a certain place. I'm now working the adrenal glands, by the way, about a third of the way up the body on either side of the spine. You can do it from the back or the front. Unwind's a really good one on this. Waves a really good one on this. It feels really good. I actually haven't done this. We've been super busy on developing, and part of the other thing we're going to do in this call is to introduce some new technology we've been working on. So this will be the official pre-launch to some exciting new products that we have been still point yogic technology products that are centered around the Scalar Lotus scalar activation and tuning infusion technologies. I'll get to it in a little bit, but it's some new and exciting technology we've been working on for a while that, as it turns out, kind of fits in. Usually when we come out with new products, the progression into the new season is going through a little shift. And the products that, at any given moment, I have like 10 things that I'm working on, different products. We actually have a very cool new, with 5G coming out, there's some dynamic kind of things about that. So there's a new technology we've developed for working on the ether to kind of help offset some of the effects of more of the millimeter type radiation that's used now in a lot of technologies, 5G and smart meters, and a lot of different things are using it. So that's not what we're introducing today. That's another technology that we will hopefully. So at any given moment, everyone take a breath in, stop right here at the top. Hold for a moment. Allow the breath to keep going. Yet you stay here in the space between the breath. Which to me, this is the treasure. Throughout my day, I get very busy. I have lots of things. I show up at a certain place because we don't have great connection always at the phone. So I do often a call from, so I show up here, the energy's a little wonky, it takes me a moment and then I reset in still point. So this is, to me, still point is for me, the equilibrium tuning mechanism, the subtle yogic equilibrium tuning mechanism of how I intercoordinate. So in other words, and this gets really very relevant to some of the stuff going on right now on the planet, we've been, as I've said, we're moving through a progression. Our planet and stars, it moves through the galaxy and through the cosmos. Many different ancient traditions say that we're right now leaving one, they call shift of the ages, and we're leaving one system and we're moving into another system. And in that new system, there's different physics. It's not a big deal. It's like when our planet orbits the sun, right? Every year it gets cold when we are farther away, and when it gets closer, it's warmer. Well, the same thing happens with our stars. It moves through the galaxy, the center of the galaxy. In some areas, there's certain stars and certain astrology physics at play, and then when it goes into another area, it's a different condition. To me, the key thing to understand about that right now, I'm not into the information about it per se. I'm into what's relevant for right now. And to me, the old season was one that was based in a more linear dimensional diffraction. Each age is like a lens, right? So it's like if you're looking through a microscope and you're looking at something, the phenomena you're looking at is the same. If you flip the lens, it's different magnification. It looks totally different than the one before. The physics change when you switch the lens. Well, the age shift to me is a shift in the lens of how the universe is flowing through different stars and translating to different dimensional condition for as we enter this new area that we're traveling through. And so the last season that age was the linear context, the dimensional diffraction organized around a linear past, present, future, and people in that experience identified with their body and personality as it's progressing from past to present to future, which was an interesting kind of trip. But for a yogi or a being of the cosmos, it's not super attractive to. It's like white light through a prism. The white light likes the experience. The prism then diffracts it to a linear color spectrum, the linear visible spectrum. Well, the visible is nice. There's nothing wrong with it, except that if you are coming from the place of being, the whole experience is more on a line. The problem with the line is that at any point, you're only the point. The rest of the vast nonlinear state you don't have access to for a lot of people in the last age. And so what still point is, everyone take breath in, drop in still point. Still point is a tool, a technology to collapse that line, that old trajectory of moving from past, present, future, the body, the emotions, the psychic. Those are the phenomena, the condition that a lot of people on planet Earth are living their reality, their perception through identification with one of those things or a conglomerate of those things, which again, it might be helpful for navigating around, getting around planet Earth, but it's of no use in the vaster cosmos. At least from my perspective, I don't mean to tell other people if it works for you, then use it. For me, I am attracted to the experience of the fullness of being, the energy of the cosmos and beyond. And so, still point to me is the reference that I'm using to navigate this new moment here on planet Earth. And that's super important as we navigate. So the period we've been going through has been a pretty dense one lately. It's been a strong period. In fact, there's kind of been a play for who's kind of in charge during this. There's been a vying for different energies to who's going to be in charge as we enter the new season, the next. And so it's been playing out to some extent. And part of what's gone on is there's a very strong polarization. There has been. It's shifting. It's getting much. There's a lot of interesting astrology and things that have been going on that are opening up into subtle, unique opportunities for expression. The only thing that's true is our condition of being. That's real and true is our condition of being, our intrinsic state of being, who we are, where we come from, the essence of our being, not in the physical or the outer phenomena. And so, to me, the way I'm navigating right now, any data that's coming to me from outside, whether it's a research paper I'm reading or a discussion I'm having, someone giving me some information or some other, it's simply data. To me, I don't look at those things as though they're true or they're fact or they're not fact. I look at them as simply a reference of, it's simply some data. Like if you go on vacation and you go and you hear, oh, there's a storm, there's a hurricane coming, and you say, well, that's good data. You're not good to go to the beach, perhaps when there's this hurricane. And it's similar if there's it's warm weather, it's nice, it's sunny. Well, that's good. Then you can go and bring your whatever to go swimming. Or the data is important only insofar as it helps you navigate your navigation, your orientation in relative to your expression of who you are and what you want to do here. And so when data comes to me with different, I switched to Unwind, by the way, the Unwind program. So, and I'm doing the front now over the pubic bone, which is really important. The sacrum tailbone, super important. Now I'm over the pubic bone, which is also, the pubic bone's right below the belly button, above the genital area. It's a little bone there, and unwinding it it's an old osteopathic cranial move. Unwinding it helps release and drop down the tailbone. And I'm doing it in the front here. I'm not even on the body. I'm a little bit off the body. I'm on Unwind. It feels great. And when I find a program, I just try it. I give it a moment. Do I notice here's still point response is your body. This is, in our seminars we cover first how to drop in still point, right? That's step one. Then we cover, okay, still point response. How can you tell? These are some of the key things to understand about still point. Still point response is, how do you tell if something is putting you in still point or if it's not? I look at things that don't put me in still point as kind of linear and things that do as nonlinear. And so the key to still point response is noticing if you take a breath, if you take a sigh, if your body feels like it's relaxing, if you feel like, it feels nice. It's kind of like if you have rubber bands all tight and you hold it and it starts to unwind. As it unwinds, it's starting to unravel. That unwinding is still point response. As it unwinds all the way, the rubber band, eventually it stops and it kind of doesn't. It's not wound and it's not unwound. It's in neutral. Still point is one's condition of one's outer phenomena unraveling and resetting back into neutral, which is key because, from my perspective, it is the intrinsic state. Yogi's view. So the yogi view, I learned from yogis, right? My background's in cranial work, and then I left. I went to India and I hung around with yogis and mystics and did a lot of practice for a lot of years. And the yogis I learned from, it was very simple, right? The outer, you have outer phenomena, right? You have like the outer phenomena of what's outside of you, and then you have in your body. Then you also have, even to the yogi, emotions, psychic stuff, physical stuff going on, emotions, like all that stuff is still outer to the yogi. Those are outer. They're affected by the outer phenomena. The intrinsic is the essence. It's the state of being. Whether you've ever, through meditation or through some other practice or in some other, people have had different experiences where at a certain moment something shifted, or often perhaps not even, it wasn't outwardly a good experience, or someone was transitioning or something, or some people took something and they altered it's a different state that opens. Those kinds of situations can open, or through a practice going to, something can open us to who we are in our intrinsic state. And to me, the yogic practice, still point yogic practice, and the yogic practice is open to that more, and to invite that, to abide in that, and to allow it to steer and help us navigate our reality. So to me, that is the what is real and true, is that state. All right, so we're doing unwind. And I actually just changed it to quantum for a moment. And again, I'm looking for when a program drops me into still point. And this one right away, unwind was unwinding. And then I had the notion to change to quantum. And I'm still going over the pubic bone. It feels really good. It's just kind of unraveling. You can feel the body. It's almost like takes a breath and then another one, a bigger breath. And eventually what happens is it tapers off. It kind of dials off into still point. Good work, everyone. So this is the process. This is how we use this technology to invite, whether you're using the laser, or we also cover how to do it with our attention, where you drop in still point. You go up to an area, whether it's a knee or a disc, and you gently invite it to unwind, and you welcome it. You say aloha. And as it unwinds, you can kind of feel it pulsing, and until eventually it unravels and resets back into still point. All right, good. So I was touching on the yogic perspective that of what's intrinsic. Good. So to the yogi, the intrinsic state is the jewel. Everyone take a nice breath in. Stop at the top. Hold for a moment. And so when strong information comes, whether you're reading about something or watching a video or you're in a conversation with someone giving information, the key is to simply drop in still point and vet out the relevance of the information. In other words, if someone's telling me some information, and it might seem totally, even if I like the information, if I'm listening to the information and it's pulling me at a still point, then I can deduce from that information is polarized. And so even if I like the information, if it's polarized with strong emotion or ideation, to me, if I take the information in, even if it's accurate information, if I take it in and bring it into my reality, then that charge comes with it. And so for me, I'm vetting in situations the data that's coming to me, not whether it's. I'll say one more thing about this, and that is that, the key thing is that we are in integrity and coherence with our experience, right? I have no interest in, and by the way, I'm not a doctor, I'm not an expert, I'm not conveying any of this experience so that anyone says, oh yes, that's correct and that's right. No, try it. Try the things I'm saying. If it helps out. By the way, I'm on the occipital ridge right now in the back of the cranium, and I'm on wave. This is to unwind the occipital ridge and the vagus nerve. For me, it feels really good right now. So we make these technologies to induce still point. So when I make things, I'm not making them with my brain. I'm making them with a consideration, and I try it and I tune it until I get the effect of unwinding the cranial rhythm and dropping into still point. So when we say still point yogic technologies, we mean it. This is, nothing gets through our development process, our research and development, and ultimately, unless it's having the effect of putting me into a nice state of still point where I can, and so I use these things to help coordinate that. So like, for example, a tree is a tree, right? So the tree is the tree. It's expressing its DNA and its essence and The tree is a tree. In a similar way, a rock is a rock, right? The rock is, it's the outer expression of the elements spinning around, the energy of the elements that are spinning around. Same thing with the tree, right? Its intrinsic state is defining its reality, its truth. Well, people are the same way, right? Are the expression of DNA, and the essence is what's weaving and threading one's reality. And so it's a little more dynamic with people, because people, we kind of opt into this outer relative perception of things, right? So, for example, a bunch of people could have the consensus, all right, that's a tree. And if we have that consensus, then we are in accord with the reality of that tree. Well, the challenge comes along when you have some people that are saying, oh, the tree is the tree, and then another group of people that are saying, well, no, it's a rock. And it's irrelevant for what the people consider is completely irrelevant. The only thing, at least that's real, is the expression of that experience. In other words, it's integrity and coherence, which establishes dimensional integrity and coherence and expression, which to me establishes the reality and truth. And I look at my journey as, well, how can I be as in accord with that as possible in my own experience, and ultimately in helping to adore that in other experiences? And help, if things are, most of nature is already in accord with that. It's humanity that is in some ways kind of a little bit in process of, so how can we help that so that this new season can flourish as a season of expression and integrity for that? And so when data comes to me that is of one thing or whatever, I just drop in still point. If it's pulling me in a different direction, I just kind of move on. I just say, okay, good, that's good, thank you. And I don't get in a big argument about it. I don't push back on it. I just say, okay, that's okay. And if I care about someone who I'm having a conversation with, and it seems to me that they're too involved in this charged, polarized situation, then I might tease in a little bit just to kind of try to give them another perspective, but preferably not from the perspective of trying to or getting into an actual outer polarized kind of situation, because that's the antithesis of what we're trying to do. Everyone take a nice breath in. Doing the temples now. I'm on the temples, and you can do wave if you like, if it's feeling good, or you can go to unity. Unwind is nice on the temples. The temples are real good. The temple inside the cranium is the sphenoid, and the pineal and the pituitary rest on the sphenoid. And these glands, if this is very rigid from too much psychic, from when people are in their head a lot, the sphenoid doesn't move as much. And when the sphenoid doesn't move, which is in the cranium, there's rigidity between the right and left sides of the brain. The net effect is it shuts down the pineal and pituitary glands. Studies have shown this. Yogis refer to opening up the lotus at the top of the head and the frontal lobe, which is the front part of the brain, and in particular to me, the pineal and pituitary glands. And the thalamus, the hypothalamus, and the thalamus, they're all key. And these are, when I refer to expression of essence and truth, I'm referring to subtle states of being. Not like, oh, I'm so-and-so and I'm this, or it's not. It's subtle states of bliss and intoxication and wonder and love, unconditional love and peace and happiness. That's the subtle, everyone has unique qualities that they're here to share, and abiding in those qualities to me is important. That's what I like to do. And so to me, still point helps. So when we neutralize the outer phenomena, if you have the laser, I was doing this on the temples, and then I kind of moved the laser around the outside of my body. I pointed it away just to clear the field. Every so often you can do it on quantum, you can do it on activate, you can do it on whatever you want. You can do it without the laser if you don't have laser, and you do it, envision a laser saber from the movies, and with some violet light and simply clear the outer layers. Yogis say, part of our new technology, we'll get into this, it has the ability to help tune things, particularly pertaining to the subtle yogic anatomy, which I'm interested in, the subtle yogic, the lotus and the lotus body and the different corresponding things that correlate to that. And to the yogis refer to these different koshas, or these sheaths, these subtle layers. And when we clear the field, we clear these subtle layers around us, and we clear any blockages, any holes, any cords connecting to other people. It's really good. Every occasion I use the laser, I take a moment and I clear above the head, below the body, around the room you're in, around the house you're in, if you're at a hotel, or if you're at work, or if you're at, you might want to hold it down if you're at work so everyone doesn't see, although I do it openly. But then again, people already see me on YouTube or wherever. By the way, people go to our YouTube site. If you can sign on there. We got lots of good trainings and videos and exciting things going on there. And again, what am I doing? I'm just simply inviting everything I'm interacting with to drop into still point. That's it. As simple as that. I'm not trying to heal it. I'm not trying to send it energy. I'm not trying to do anything fancy. I'm not trying to affect other people. I'm simply saying, all right, hey, I'd like to drop in still point. When I drop in still point, it opens up a subtle state of energy. And more importantly, in that subtle state of energy, it neutralizes the polarization in and of the outer phenomena. Physical things, emotional things, psychic things. Yogis typically don't not like those things. They simply view those things as not stable. So to the yogi, there's unstable things and there's stable things. And by unstable, I mean, physical things, emotions, psychic, they come and they go. One moment you have this emotion, then another one, this consideration, then another one, then another one. The body is changing. Everything is in a state of perpetual change. And while if you're simply posited on the physical, the planet Earth, well then that is the way it is. Though as we open to more subtler states, yogic states of being, it's for me and a lot of yogis, it's attractive to rest and abide in states that are not beyond the physical, emotional, and psychic. States that are stable, whether it's one's bliss, or your joy, whatever it is for you, and cultivating that state so that you hold it in every situation. Some other things going on, or some polarized this, or some this. And we just those things, we interact with those things. I look at life, I'm holding in this state of still point as I navigate through things. I like still point. There's a little bit of bliss. It activates nitric oxide. There's this very subtle intoxication for me that happens. And I adore that. I adore looking at, that's simply what I adore around this planet, around the people I see. It's just, for me, that's what's relevant. That's what has value. And so everyone go ahead, take a nice breath in and stop right at the top of the breath. Let's hold for a moment. Okay, good. So I want to now take a moment to first off, thanks for all the incredible feedback we've gotten about the new Scalar pad. The pad, for folks that are new or haven't been on our calls for a while, the Scalar pad is a new technology that you can lay on that plugs into our other technologies and gives a kind of whole body yogic kind of unwinding of the cranial rhythm and opening up the quantum field and activating. The goal, as with most of our technology progression over the years, is we usually come out with new technologies when there's some shifts happening on the planet and the technology. Like I have all these things in development, all these things, and the universe will just, this one's coming out now. And I can't kind of tell when it kind of happens. I just keep dropping in still point. It happens as as it happens. And so the laser first we came out with to unwind things and to drop things in still point. That's our medical device technology. And then we came out with the Wi-Fi and the Lotus, which are really designed as we were beginning to enter the new season, designed around opening the quantum field and doing quantum field work around the aura, the subtle energy, the quantum field energy work. Then things progressed a little more, and we came out with the Scalar pad and the Scalar pads and the Ormus spray. And those kind of were designed to help activate the scalar circuits in the pad, are designed to help activate the scalar energy along the spine, the nadis, and the sacred energy. A lot of yogis say energy comes down for a lot of people here and out through the chakras and the senses. And our approach is to using still point to kind of reverse that. Everyone rest in still point. In fact, everyone take a moment, drop in still point, and hold it for a moment. Kind of hold it, kind of like it's one of those like when you're putting air into a tire and you one way shh, the other way shh. If you hold it right in the middle with care, I'm just holding still point like that with care. As I do that, I feel my field, the energy. I feel all this like little stream of energy starting to fill up and fluff up the field. Right there, things shifted, and now I'm held in. I'm in the quantum field, the energy envelope, the field around the body. I'm just kind of resting there now. Now envision one of those laser sabers and go around and just clear any blockages, any holes, any cords, any stuff from around. Anything that's been going on, or clear from anything. There's stuff going on in the planet, everything, literally just clear from all of it. From any people, even family, friends, loved ones, everyone, clear from everyone. A lot of people here connect. We're not disconnecting from them. We're cutting any cords that are running between the chakras or any other energy. And we're, as we clear like this, eventually, like right there, I'd drop back in still point. We're still there for the people we love with in our family and other things. We're there from a place of still point, not from a place of... Now see if you notice, squeeze the root at the base of the spine. Squeeze it in. Same muscle used to go to the restroom. Squeeze in and then out. And then squeeze in and then out. Now squeeze in a little bit more. And out. Now as you squeeze in, hold it right in between the in and the out. Hold for a moment there. Hold it gently. Yogis, Taoists say it's like holding an egg. Not too tight you crush, not too loosey you drop. You hold gentle. As I hold this is the sacred muscle. We call this the activation. I hold this gently. And as I hold it, you squeeze it a little bit in and out and then hold it in that place in between. And as soon as I hold it there, I feel energy start to flow up the spine. That energy is we're reversing the sensory currents. Most people's energy, the medical symbol. This is the medical symbol, the staff of life. There's references to this symbol everywhere in every ancient tradition, mystic tradition, yogic tradition. Squeeze that root, hold it right there. You might feel the whole sacrum pulse a little bit, or the front area, the pubic bone, the perineum. It's the perineum that and hold it right in between. And for me, right away, I feel energy go up the spine, tongue at the roof of the mouth. I often place tongue at the roof of the mouth. We cover this in our retreats in more depth. And tongue at the roof of the mouth, often as this energy starts to flow, it purifies the chakras and the nadis, the channels, subtle channels, and it comes up. And for me, I feel saliva starts to open up. And that saliva is loaded. It opens the ambrosia in the glands, in the cranium. And the ambrosia starts to open, yogis call it the amrita, the nectar. I call it ambrosia. It's the subtle DMT and PEA and all the good stuff that puts you into a nice, subtle state. And often when you squeeze that root in, out, hold it right in between area, kind of like holding still point. And then energy starts to flow up, tongue at the roof of the mouth. That energy starts to flow up to the top and opens into the lotus. All traditions, all yogi, mystic traditions, many refer to the lotus at the top of the head, the crown, the lotus. And that lotus, as it opens, is connected to the heart center. And it's a very important step in the process of most mystic traditions, coming to that lotus place, as there's some references to the lotus body, and it opens a kind of new orientation for who one is, what one's doing here, and for how we approach things. So the scalar pad was introduced to help strengthen the scalar circuits of the scalar energy along the spine, the activation in the quantum field, to offset against 5G and other things, to really strengthen people in this new technology that we're introducing today in this pre-launch call is arriving into this moment and to help open up this lotus condition, this ambrosia and lotus condition. At least that's how I'm using it. So the new technology is it's a still point yogic technology. It's a scalar lotus. It's a scalar alchemy and infusion tuning, scalar alchemy tuning infusion system. And it's comprised of two key pieces. There's a new part. The first part is called the scalar portal. And the scalar portal is kind of like it's kind of like a laser. It's without the top of the laser, the head. So it's a handheld. It's beautiful. It's made out of a beautiful metal, anodized metal, kind of like the probes. Beautiful color. It's got a keypad on it. It's got the LCD screen on it. It's got the plug-in, so it's got a battery built into it. It's very similar, if you're familiar with our laser. Without the top head part of the lasers, it's like the part with the keypad and the LCD. There are some LEDs at the top that can turn on when it's on, designed to show that it's on, and also kind of like the Wi-Fi has LEDs at the top of the Wi-Fi. So the portal is it's non-medical. This whole new technology is non-medical, and the portal is it's got some very unique programs. So it's a little bit different. I'm not going to get too into it. Suffice to say that it's got some interesting alchemy, and the goal of it, so the output on the portal, it has two probe outputs. So you can use the portal with our other technologies. It's designed to go with the second part, which I'm going to tell you about in a moment. Though the outputs can be used, you can plug it into the Wi-Fi, you can plug it into the pad, you can plug it into any of our stuff. It's designed as a technology to assist with tuning things and alchemy, to induce things to unwind. And so the other part that is within this system, everyone take a breath in, stop right at the top, hold for a moment. The little process we did a moment ago, by the way, we did that nice process to drop in still point, open the quantum field. This is from the still point process work, yogic process work practice. We drop in still point, we open the quantum field, we clear the quantum field. Really important. Every day I take a moment, I drop in still point, I open the quantum field, the nonlinear state of being. I clear the quantum field. I activate the energy along the spine, the sacred medical symbol. And the medical symbol is a scalar wave with a with the gland at the top, right, the pineal gland and the wings. Well, we activate the energy. It bathes and nourishes and purifies, and then opens the glands, the ambrosia, and then opens up the lotus, the wings, the flowering of the lotus, and we rest in that state. And as we rest there, it tunes us. It opens and expresses. Maybe for one person, it opens the heart chakra. As you rest there, that state can help to assuage challenges, reset things, purify things, activate and open you up to new states that you can then start to use and cultivate in your journey here. And then when we're done, we'll reset, shift, clear, reset back in still point, right? We don't want to come out of states like that and then go interact, and we reset, we bring it all back into coherence. Okay, so the new portal, really cool. It's super cool. I just love it. It came out really cool. The design of it is fantastic. And it comes with, there are two other new pieces which are called the Scalar charging plates. And there's two sizes. There's a smaller one and a larger one. The smaller one is roughly it's like, I'm not even 100. It's smaller, like 4 inches by like 7 inches. 4 inches one way wide, 7 inches high, somewhere around there. And then the larger one's around 7 inches wide and 11 inches higher, if that makes sense. And these are beautifully crafted, wooden, beautiful Vermont wood, gorgeous wood from here near us. And they are plates that have, inside of them are unique circuits designed to alchemy tune, charge things, scalar tune things. And so the charging plates can be plugged in. You can plug them into the Lotus or a laser if you want. You can, same probe connector. It's a very simple technology, the charging plates. They're really beautiful. They're very, how do I say, they're very non-toxic. We use a food grade, everything in it's like food grade. We had to use a little bit of a adhesive in one area, and that's food grade. We stain it with a non-toxic, really natural, easy, non-toxic stain, and it is the internal components are super non-toxic, and also they're very neutral from an EMF perspective. And so it's very, very basic technology, very simple and elegant, and designed to tune. The smaller one's great for tuning remedies. You can tune superfoods, fruits, vegetables, foods, supplements, water, drinks. You can infuse and tune crystals, gemstones, jewelry, anything. You can infuse water to put in your tub. You can infuse your herbs and spices. You can infuse paint. If you're going to paint a wall, you can infuse it first with scalar energy. You can infuse that. Literally, the way we're using it and the goal of it is that all the things that, I try to pick things in my life that have a neutral, unwinding, and still point effect. So the goal of this is to optimize and tune everything else anything that comes your way, to tune it. And in particular, the newer programs aim at it has our normal approach programs and also unique new programs designed around yogic alchemy and our yogic approach to wellness and longevity. So it's got some really cool new research. I do a lot of research into different waveforms, frequencies, waveforms, different ways to affect different things and I vet it with still point. I use still point as the way that I kind of develop these different, so it's got some unique research into it and experience. It's got a unique, subtle experience to it. It also, there's a lot of new research around the voltage of different cells in the body, organs, and the voltage of different things. So to me, as I've been seeing some new things coming out, I've been working on this for years, this technology actually. So my approach is really centered around, so you have the physical body, and then you have the different energy and different things that are going on. The more you can micro-tune, say, the organ or a certain cell or DNA or RNA or whatever it is you're working on, so that it's unwound and it's activated to the scalar state of energy where that magic can happen to reorganize it from a higher dimensional and non-dimensional kind of alchemical state, the more it optimizes your condition here, if that makes sense. And so, so the larger charging plate you can put on for bigger jugs or gallons, water and juices and different kinds of things, or you can put your whole grocery. You bring a bag of groceries, set it right on the big plate, and unwind everything for a little while. Lots of different applications for the charging plates. The tuner also, everyone take a moment, take a breath in. And hold right at the top. Now, part of the research that's gone into this is kind of oriented around the yogic approach to, I follow an approach for navigating health and understanding the different plexuses and the different subtle yogic anatomy that pertain to, from my perspective, a lot of challenges that people deal with. Once people unwind and open up their non-linear state of the quantum field, a lot of people might have challenges with, say, back pain or something to do with their immune response or their lungs. And so the yogi approach is to understand what plexus, each plexus along the body, you have the spinal, the spine and the energy along the spine, the nadis, and then you have different plexuses. And each plexus has a corresponding chakra, a corresponding organ, a corresponding gland, an organ system function, and then the bond or the root lock, the bond with the nerve plexus. And then in addition, you have the koshas, or the different layers that also can correspond to some extent to the different centers, and then you have the lotus, the lotus body, which kind of in some ways, I wouldn't say, or sort of orchestrates and permeates, or can permeate and weave and thread the orchestration of the other plexuses and systems. So to me, it's a comprehensive kind of approach to navigating not so much health, medicine, health, more navigating the yogic state of well-being, of wellness and longevity. And so there's a lot of research into the portal around, or a lot of my approach in the portal. And there's a larger software system we've been working on. It's not there yet, and we'll see. I can't always say for clear if something's coming out. I'm working on things, and that there is a possibility of a larger system that kind of threads into the portal, although that's a ways off, and there's some other things that we're working on also. So the portal, again, it's a handheld. It's beautiful. There'll be pictures along with this that we send out. It's a beautiful handheld. It has a plug-in to power it up, same as if you're familiar with using our existing technology, it all works the exact same. You plug it in, charge it up. Once the keypad works the same way. You turn it on, pick programs. It's got the ability to dial in, custom design your own programs, if you like. It's got different programs that are all centered around this yogic alchemy, longevity, and lotus. I use this as a way to tune things to the lotus state, and so or just help to still point. Still point is the quintessential state that I'm interested in tuning to, and as with our other steps to the process, still point, then opening quantum field, then the activation, then the ambrosia and the lotus. So my view is the more that we can tune the things we're putting in our body to have a bliss-inducing ambrosia and opening the lotus effect, it changes the play right now on the planet is a push and pull for facts and information, and it's a lot of power involved with where is people's attention going to be oriented. And what this is about, the new season and this opportunity, this blessing of opening, of still point and opening to being, is opening the flowering of one's condition, which goes beyond any of that other stuff. This is going to the essence of the flowering and the essence and the expression of who we are. And this is a technology to assist in that process. As with all our products that we develop, to us it feels like a total gift. Like I am developing, I'm really continuing to drop into still point and dissolve and rest here, and then it kind of lands in a consideration, and I try different things. And all I'm looking for is, all right, as I'm trying it, does that affect me? If it puts me in still point, I'm like, love it, let's make it. If it doesn't, I try again until I get that effect. And this is, instead of us making lots of products to send out, this is an ability to have in your home, like you'd have a juicer if you want to juice things, or a blender if you want to blend things. This is a tuner that enables one to tune everything that one is putting through, shampoos, everything you're putting through your body, using on your body, essential oils, anything you want to tune up to assist in this experience, this exquisite experience of still point and the flowering of bliss and the nectar. It's a tool to help people to tune things, to induce that effect and that experience. When I say these are handcrafted beautifully by a skilled carpenter, like these things took, like, we're only figuring they're beautiful and exquisite and rare. And as we make them and dial them in for optimization for manufacturing, these initial ones that people order are exquisite. They're exquisite. Well, I'm sure we'll continue to make them exquisite, though. There was a lot of effort and care put into these. They're like art. It's like art. They're simple and yet they're beautiful and exquisite. And more importantly, they're effective at inducing subtle states. And so everyone take a moment, drop in still point, reset. And so as a package, an introductory package, we're going to offer one package of the Scalar tuner in both plates for $2,900, $29 or $20, might be $29.95. Look at the newsletter. That special package price is going to also include, for folks that order this early on in the pre-launch while supplies last. So if you're interested, we're going to include free shipping initially for the first folks that order. And we're also going to include a little kit of 4 unique superfood, 4 bottles of superfood in a little pouch, kind of like the 4 Ormus sprays that Ormus tuned and Scalar tuned, that we're using a lot. These are some superfoods that we're using a lot. And you can play around with these this little gift package valued around $400 of superfoods that you can tune and play around in your own alchemy. We make alchemy drinks, we tune stuff. It's kind of how we go through. It's like how for me, if I only want to put things in my body that are optimizing from an epigenetics perspective, or that's even complex word, whatever, from optimizing one's experience here. And so that's what this new technology is all about. We do have some other things out on the horizon that didn't totally land in yet. So stay tuned for that other things that are coming. And if you're interested, we'll also have some bigger packages that include the tuner and the charging plates probably. So check the email for other packages as well. So everyone go ahead, take another nice breath in. Stop right at the top. Squeeze the root again, check your quantum field, clear the quantum field. When I do these things, I do them ultra efficiently. I'm not like, I could be at a certain place and the physics change. I'll drop in still point. I'll hold it for a moment. I'll open up the field. If I have laser, I might turn the laser on. If I have Wi-Fi, I might tune the Wi-Fi. When you do the Wi-Fi, you go through each one and you're just waiting. Which one here, that drops you in the still point. That's the one to do. Which program? You go through, oh, that one feels good, do that one. So drop here, drop in still point, open quantum field, squeeze the root, activate the energy, opens the ambrosia, tongue at the roof of the mouth, up to the lotus. As the lotus opens, tongue at the roof of the mouth, you might feel as the lotus opens, energy start to flow up a little stronger. You might feel the heart. Often yogis say when the lotus opens, the heart connects, opens also. And you might then simply rest in unconditional love or some bliss. Whatever it is that opens for you, that is tuning to your essence. Every person to me, everyone here has a unique essence. Like every flower has something that it's here to share. Every DNA person, their DNA is threading up their essence, and the subtle body is the outer expression of the DNA and the essence, and then opening up into the expression, into consciousness, and the state of being. That to me is what's to me valuable. To me, that's what is so. And so I appreciate each and every one of you for taking a moment. We appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate you for taking a moment out of your busy lives to tune into this work. And these products are all developed to assist in this process for this transition into this new moment here, and to assist to unravel linear things. One thing every day. Pick one thing to work on, an injury or some challenge you're dealing with, and just unwind it. Don't try to fix and cure and heal it for good. Simply unwind it. And then the next day you might come and say, oh, well, that injury's still there. Well, pick the right program that's unwinding, unwind it again. Then do it the next day. If you've trained something to be wound and tight, whether it's an injury or an emotional thing or some belief or some other thing, it might take a little while to unravel it and unravel it. It might take unwinding every day for a week or 2 weeks or a month or two. I've worked on things every day for a while until eventually it's not the thing that's there when I tune in to see, oh, what am I going to work on today? I always tell people, unwind one or two things every day. That's it. When I start, I dig in one or two things, and then after I unwind one or two things, I'm into still point and into opening up and opening the field and the energy along the spine and the lotus, and I'm like, oh, what are those things? Those things are. Well, who cares about those things? It's not. We're here now. And we come back and we unwind, and we're steering our condition from outer situations. Yet we're not. The goal isn't going anywhere. The goal is cultivating the state of being. So wherever we are, we can thread up and express the essence of who we are through the cosmos and into this amazing experience here on this lovely planet. So on that note, I send out much love and to everyone, and we are working on a portal. We are working on potentially having some live trainings on the internet and a whole training portal. We've been working on it for a while. We have made some headway lately, and we're trying to make a bunch of headway on it so we can have some new format approach to sharing the still point yogic work and training around the practice, and also how to use the different technologies. So everyone take a moment, drop in here. You don't even need to use the breath. When I do it, I just tune like a camera lens. I just tune until right here. Use this. You're all experts at this. Use it. Every day I leave here, I'll go somewhere, do a tune in, drop in still point. You're all doing really good work, so let's love and aloha to everyone. Aloha.